Good afternoon, everybody. This is Karen Silovitz, Councillor Ward 5, your chair for the Accessibility Advisory Committee. Welcome to everybody online and to those joining us in chambers today. Accessibility Advisory Committee meetings are held in a hybrid fashion. So in chambers today, together with myself, is committee member Simon Waldman, and online we have Councillor Davidson, Sherry Caldwell, Lopa Banerjee, who is our vice chair, and Lawrence Raifman. And joining us as always, Councillor Thompson, thank you very much. So I will call this meeting to order. And could I have an adoption of the agenda, please, from someone on committee? Thank you, Councillor Davidson. All those in favour, just raise your hands. Thank you, that passes unanimously. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof from anybody on committee? Nope, seeing none, thank you. First item on the agenda is 4.1, which is the minutes Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting AAC 0324, which was held November 28th, 2024. Could I have a member on committee to move that forward to the floor, please? Anybody? Raise your hand. Lawrence Raifman, thank you. Any comments? I gather everyone's read their minutes. Does anybody have any comments? No? We all good? Excellent. For the adoption of the previous minutes on the floor, brought forward by committee member Lawrence Raifman. All those in favour? Just raise your hands. Passes unanimously. Thank you. We only have one item on our agenda today. We have no delegations. And our scheduled business for today is item 6.1, which is an overview of Access Richmond Hill and accessible customer service. And our presentation is by Dana Alexander, Manager for Access Richmond Hill. Dana, welcome. We look forward to your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you to the chair, Councillor Silovitz, Councillor Davidson, Councillor Thompson, and along with all members of the Accessibility Advisory Committee. Thank you for having me today. My name is Dana Alexander, and I am the manager of Access Richmond Hill. Today, I'd like to provide you with an overview, a brief overview of Access and our efforts in delivering accessible customer service. So the Access Richmond Hill Contact Centre serves as a one-stop, full-service point of contact for most city services, providing assistance for general inquiries, responding to questions or concerns regarding programs and services, as well as providing a centralized cashiering function for in-person payments. We aim to provide exceptional customer service by phone, email, online, and in person. Our team is available Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and we're located here on the ground floor. We support approximately 16 different service areas. A few examples of the call types we handle are tax and water billing, water wastewater calls, parks, natural environment, urban forestry, waste management, and winter maintenance, just to name a few. We process in-person payments for the city. Examples include payments for penalty notices, tax bills, water bills, development charges, building permit fees, and marriage licenses. We offer a no wrong door approach for residents when contacting the city, and will connect parties to the right city section if the call or email is for a business area for which we do not have a service agreement. Access advisors use multiple systems to access information and will clearly communicate response expectations based on business service levels provided to us. We aim to ensure every individual has access to information and services through Access Richmond Hill by creating a welcoming and atmosphere where all individuals feel valued and heard. We aim to recognize and respond to the unique needs, preferences, and abilities of our residents, to ensure flexibility and adaptability in how we deliver customer service, to provide various ways for those residents and business customers to communicate with us, and to ensure there's support on the various platforms in which we serve. In 2024, Access handled over 85,000 calls, close to 12,100 emails. We handled online and web initiated inquiries of approximately 4,100 and handled over 8,500 in-person visits. So that's somewhere around 110,000 interactions. Access Richmond Hill advisors are guided to always use simple language when communicating to ensure that all residents can easily understand important information that we provide. We try to keep away from using internal jargon or internal language and to keep our messages concise. We record all of our resident interactions in our customer relationship management system, and that is a tool that we use to hand off inquiries if additional work needs to happen, and we can also use it to track the progress of inquiries as needed. We offer residents the ability to interact with us in their preferred language if English is not their first language, making sure that language is not a barrier when accessing support. When responding to email inquiries, we aim to ensure that responses are clearly, that our responses are clear, timely, and tailored to each resident's need. For us, that means, again, using clear subject lines, short and concise responses, and personalized response. Our service level for email inquiries is to respond respond within 2 business days. Our Richmond Hill website has a number of online forms in which residents can submit inquiries to us. Access Richmond Hill advisors are available to guide callers on where to find information, how to use our website, and how to use online forms. So overall, we are focused on accessible, responsive customer service using all of the tools available to us. For in-person services, we are located here at 225 East Beaver Creek. We have a consolidated counter that handles inquiries and also allows us to accept in-person payments. Approximately 4 years ago, there was a change in the design at East Beaver Creek and how we handle in-person inquiries. So now there's no need for residents to travel between multiple floors. Everything is managed at a consolidated counter on the main floor between Access Richmond Hill, Office of the Clerk, and on the other side, there are services available through planning, building, and development engineering. Staff from various areas will come down to meet residents on the main floor for in-person meetings as required. Our physical space was designed with accessibility in mind. Our service level, our desks are, we offer seating options with armrests as well as standing stations. We have a lower counter station where individuals with mobility devices can comfortably interact with staff. On the main floor, there's high contrast signs with easy to read fonts for additional clarity. At the main entryway, there's also an accessible communication board, which provides signage and text and Braille as well for easy navigation. Sorry. We offer translation assistance for residents who need over-the-phone or in-person services in a language other than English. We use a system called Language Line, and we are able to connect with an interpreter who can assist in over 240 languages. And we do so by connecting almost like a 3-way call. It's also available for in-person interactions. We also have another tool called Ubi Duo, which is suitable for anyone who may be deaf, hard of hearing, or with varying communication needs. And what it is a real-time system that allows interaction between individuals. In terms of language line and the service, we do utilize it as needed. Our top 3 languages that we connect with are Mandarin, Farsi, and Cantonese. Some additional languages that we use are Arabic, Russian, Italian, and Turkish. In terms of staff training, we do provide new and refresher training annually for customer service representatives on accessible practices as part of our modules for training. We try to ensure that staff are trained on how to handle diverse customer needs with empathy and professionalism. Sessions focused on cultural sensitivity and awareness to ensure that we pay attention to the diverse needs of the population we serve, including awareness on cultural, linguistic, and accessibility differences. Our overall focus on communication with individuals with a wide range of differing abilities. We train staff to use our accessible tools and technologies as Language Line or Duolingo to ensure that we can interact seamlessly. We pay attention to best practices that we learn, ensuring staff understand the importance of clear, respectful, and inclusive language. We also provide feedback to staff to support them in their overall customer service journey. Another thing that we find very useful is resident feedback. We encourage feedback to allow us to improve our service delivery and implement changes as needed to enhance overall accessibility. Access Richmond Hill is committed to providing customer service in an accessible manner. I hope this provided you a little bit of insight into the work we do and how we strive to support all in accessing customer service at the City of Richmond Hill. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Manager Alexander. It's a pleasure having you with us today. And I'm sure that Access at the moment is completely overwhelmed with snow inquiries and concerns. So our thanks to all of you, or everyone who works at Access. You are amazing. Okay, so could I have a member of committee to bring 6.1 forward, please, so we can have a discussion? Anybody on committee to bring this forward, please? Thank you. Brought forward by Sherry Caldwell. And the floor is yours, Sherry, if you have anything to say. Mute. You need to unmute yourself. It's okay.
Unmute. Okay. Can you hear me?
We still all do that. Don't worry.
I think it sounds really rich, the services that they're providing. All the languages, I'm sure, are greatly appreciated. I was wondering if you provide like ASL or any sign language or help for people in person or on the phones.
The Language Line service actually has that as a service that we can use, and we have actually used it recently. So it is a service available to us.
Okay.
It's good to know. Anything further, Sherry?
No, that's all.
Thank you. Anyone else on committee want to speak? Simon, go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you for probably one of the better PowerPoint presentations, in that instead of just reading the presentation verbatim, that you actually just had the highlights and added your own input to it. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Agreed. Thank you, Simon. Next on my speakers list is Councillor Davidson. And you're also muted, madam.
No, there, thank you. These computers are never going to last. Anyway, thank you. And thank you for the presentation. I think with this snow event, I'm sure Access is overwhelmed with requests, as I think most of council are. My question is, do you have a way of prioritizing, and I don't want to speak on behalf of somebody who has accessibility issues, but if I'm somebody who is able-bodied and I'm complaining because I can't get out of my house because of the windrow, or somebody who has actually needs a special transportation vehicle to come to the house, does Access Richmond have an ability to prioritize those who perhaps need it before someone else? I honestly don't know. I don't mean specific to the program. I mean specific to prioritizing calls.
Thank you for that question. Depending on the service area, if there is a concern that we believe or the resident believes is urgent, needing higher priority, we can bring that forward to the attention of the program area. So for an example of winter maintenance that's happening right now, we are informed where they are in their clearing event. And if we are within service level, we do have the ability to always bring forward concerns that, safety's in mind, or something that's urgent that needs to be brought forward. Business areas will always pay attention to any issues that are escalated and ensure that, for example, roads are safe and passable, that safety is in mind.
Thank you. And through you, Madam Chair, can you just tell folks who aren't on council here, what do you mean within service levels? What does service levels mean?
Thank you so much. So for a program area, for example, winter maintenance, there's a certain amount of time that the business area has in order to complete the work. So for a regular snow event, for example, I believe roads, all roads would be cleared within a 16-hour time after the snow has stopped. And I'm just giving an example. After that, so during that time, we are to allow the business area to perform the service, to clear all the roads, and we kind of will hold back any complaints or advise residents or business customers that operations are ongoing. Outside of that, oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
That's, if you want to say more, excuse me.
I was just going to say, outside of that, once service level ends, then that's when we send through complaints, because all work should have been completed within that time frame.
Right. Okay. Thank you. And through you, Madam Chair, my last question is, do you have, and forgive me if it's on the website and I haven't seen it, or maybe even said it today and I didn't notice it, but does Access have a time frame that they absolutely will respond, not with just an automatic reply, but a time frame for how long Access will strive to give a resident an answer to a question? That's not not an enormous problem, but something that's fairly common.
Are you,
But
is it part of
I mean, like
email?
if I email Access or I call and I say let's say I email, and I say I have this issue, blah, blah, blah. Is there a timer on how long Access takes to get back to that resident?
Yes, thank you for the questions through you, Madam Chair. We aim to provide a personalized response within 2 business days. And quite often we are within that. Usually it's within approximately 1 business day.
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation, and thanks for all the work. I know people don't generally call Access to say, hey, great job. I know that you're sort of the place to go when something needs to be fixed or solved or expedited. So I thank you for for your patience and for being the goodwill ambassadors for the city. So thank you.
Thank you.
Ditto. Thank you, Councillor. Next on my speakers list is Lopa Banerjee, our Vice Chair. Go ahead, Lopa.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and through you, question to. I would like to start with thanking Access Richmond Hill for all that they are doing, and best wishes, and we are here to help you as well. My question is a continuation of Councillor Davidson. number one, what are the modes of receiving the complaints? Is there a form or something, or is just any email sent to them, or is just a voice? So, and the reason I'm asking this, I'll continue with this, is any complaint that is coming to you, is there a way to track them online? Is there a complaint number or something registered to know? I mean, the complainant doesn't need to wait for you to call for the personalized call. They can go into your website, they can type in their complainant number and look for the status. I mean, it's probably easier for you as well, that you don't have to keep dialing because it takes a lot of time. So is this something that is being thought about, or you do have a process in place in this?
It's a great question. Thank you, Lopa.
Thank you for your question. Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, for part of it, and it is something that we're exploring for part of it. So residents or anyone can contact Access using access@richmondhill.ca, and that does get submitted through to our customer relationship management system, and there is a timer on it. So we can tell when it comes in, and there is a timer connected to it. There is also a service request number attached to it if they were to call to follow up with the inquiry. We currently do not have a mechanism in place which allows someone to go online and search for the status of a service request. But it is something that has been brought up a number of times, and we are interested in exploring if it is possible.
Right, thank you so much. And it would be great because we are trying to see how we can, we try to see how easily you can reach out to all the complainants. So maybe an app where they go in and type in their number and they see their status update. And that way we also can measure that how many complaints have been addressed within 2 business days, 3 business days, 5. So what's the average timeline of resolutions that are being provided?
That's a great suggestion.
Okay.
Thank you. I agree, Lopa. I agree, Dana. That's a very good idea. I never thought of that. If there was a direct way for a resident to go to Access, punch in their number, and see exactly what's happening, it would also help members of council tremendously. So thank you. Great, Lopa. Any further questions?
No, thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions, but this would be, if this is in place, it would be really very helpful, both for Access Richmond Hill and also for the residents as well.
I agree, totally. Thank you, Lopa. Okay, anyone else on the first round? Councillor Thompson, do you have anything you wish to add? No?
Yeah, actually, now that you've given me the opportunity, thank you so much.
Go ahead, Councillor Davidson, I'll get you on the second round.
It was mentioned well, first off, I do want to say great presentation, a lot of great information in there. So I really appreciate what you've put together there. There are some things about languages that I didn't even realize that we had. My question is in around, I guess it's called the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. So if I'm not mistaken, the www content, they will do some sort of evaluations on websites, because somebody had said to me that I should have a statement on my own website, and this was something that I'm really not that familiar with. So I'm just wondering how that all works. I understand there's evaluations. You get like a level A, a level AA, or a level AAA. I have no clue what any of that means. I don't even know how the evaluations are done. I didn't see anything on our own Richmond Hill website that actually speaks to that. So I'm hoping perhaps you might be able to enlighten me on how that all works.
Thank you, Councillor. Dana?
Great question. I actually don't have the answer to that question. I can certainly,
Ryan
Ryan's
is
gonna
waving.
answer.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Through the chair to the councillor, the AODA legislation actually prescribes the level of, I would say, AODA compliance that's necessary. So for instance, on the website, we have to conform to the, we call it the WCAG WAG 2.0 level AA. So there is a standard that is required within the AODA legislation in terms of what we need to meet. And they do prescribe things between, for instance, a municipality and the provincial government. So depending on the level of government, it's also depends on what needs to be made AODA compliant, depending on the organization.
I definitely appreciate the answer. So for council members that have their own websites, as an example, who would they go to find out if there's a particular, like you say, a performance matrix that they should or be recommended to uphold?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Through the chair to the councillor. I sort of say, without getting into the specifics per se, I would say that, certainly a councillor's own website wouldn't fall under the requirements of the AODA because your website isn't the municipal website. However, again, the WCAG 2.0 level AA is the standard that the municipality uses. And if you had any questions, certainly you can feel free to send me an email and I can show you where those guidelines reside and you can go from there.
I definitely appreciate that. We can certainly take it offline. Thank you so much through the chair. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Councillor. Okay, nobody there. Seeing no one else. Councillor, I'll get to you in just a few minutes for the second round. I saw your hand up, Councillor Davidson. Do you have a second round question? No?
I did, and it was so good. I was so enthralled with what Scott said, I forgot. I think it had I know what it was. I wanted to say through you, Madam Chair, or ask our access. So when you say like we want to get back within 2 days, you mean you want to get back to it within 2 days to say, okay, we have sent this to the appropriate department, and then it's out of your hands as to how long it takes individual departments in Richmond Hill to answer. Is that right?
For you, Madam Chair. If it is something that we can provide an answer to, if it's an
Right.
information-based question, it would happen we aim to do it within 2 business days. If there is a handoff to another area for work to be done, for example, if it was an inquiry about a pothole, we would hand it off to roads for them to fix it, and we would provide some sort of information in terms of when to expect that work will be completed. So we've been provided with lists from various areas about the individual service levels, so we
Right.
could provide that.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lopez, second round.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you, the question is, the complaints that you receive, is there a metrics that we can view, say in a financial year, how many complaints you have received, how many have been resolved, how many are still pending, and if there is a way to see when it was resolved, and if there is an option to receive the feedback from the complainant as well. So do we have these in place so that we can see? Thank you.
For the question, through you, Madam Chair. That is actually something that the city more broadly is looking to provide information, more seamless information on what we do and how we do it. So there is a service commitment that the city has launched, and we aim to provide more and more of that information. Currently, it's not all available, but the resident on a case-by-case example could find out when their complaint was submitted, when they could expect the work to be done, and also when the work was completed.
Okay, thank you so much. It would have been really helpful for us committee members to see those metrics from Access Richmond Hill, how many you received and how many you have already resolved. So I hope we get that in future. So thank you, Madam Chair. That's all.
That's a good point. Thank you, Lopa. That's a very good point. Perhaps, Dana, when you address us again, that is something that we can see as a metric, as Lopa was saying. I think that would be very interesting to see for us at the committee level. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so from myself, so I don't see anyone else for a second round. So from myself, thank you very much. That was an excellent presentation. I just have one question with this UB Duo. Does that replace what was TTD TTY for hard of hearing customers, or is that still in place?
Yes. This is something different. It's for in-person. It's almost like a dual screen where it's almost like texting in real time for you to input and them to see. So it's something quite different.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. I didn't quite get that. So that's in person.
Yes.
So TTD, TTY, that still occurs when someone calls in.
Yes.
Thank you. And does every station have that capability, or do they have to be forwarded to another station?
It's one system.
One system
available. However, a lot of residents who do prefer to type or text, we'll do it in real time with their phones, or we'll kind of go with what they have. But if we needed to use the tool, we would go aside to a specific workstation.
Oh,
so wherever they are, it could be brought to that workstation.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. That's really all the questions I had. It's been very, very interesting, and I know you're going to be presenting to council as well. And I look forward to all updates that will come our way. And I also want to just add and say again that Access does an amazing job, an absolutely amazing job. You guys are under tremendous pressure of that, we can be sure. And for everything that you answer, answer and attend to and forward to the specific department or employee. It is an excellent job, and I can't thank you enough from my perspective for all the work that is done through you and through the department.
Thank you so much. I will share that with my team because they are the ones who handle all of the calls.
Thank you. So again, we have a motion on the floor moved by Sherry Caldwell, 6.1, that the presentation by Dana Alexander, manager, Access Richmond Hill, regarding an overview of Access Richmond Hill and accessible customer service be received. All those in favor? Just raise your hands. Amazing. Thank you. That carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, so we just have one more item on our agenda, which is adjournment. But before we go to that, Mr. Ban, can you tell us the date of our next meeting, please? Just to confirm. Sorry, I don't want to put you on the spot, but just to confirm. One moment.
Thank you. Through the chair, the next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, Thursday, April 24 at 1:30 p.m.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. So everybody make sure you've got that in your calendars, and I look forward to seeing you there. And take care, everybody. Travel safe. And if I could have a motion, if I could have someone motion adjournment, thank you very much. Committee Member Simon Waldman, all those in favor? Raise your hands. That carries unanimously as well. Thank you very much. From my side, thank you to everybody. Again, thank you for joining us, Councillor Thompson, and we'll see you soon.